Hey guys, Zoe here from OneGlanceTrader.com and welcome to episode 9 of my trading journal, The Drawdown Manager. And as always, if you want to go back and check out some previous videos, please click the link in the description below or head over to OneGlanceTrader.com/journal. So, in today's episode, what I want to talk to you guys about is my higher time frame discretionary trading system that I'll be implementing, as well as the second discretionary trade I've done in this journal, trading pin bars. So for those of you who are quite familiar with the journal, in terms of my story so far, just to give everyone a brief high level overview, is I've got a scalping EA that is running on the 5 and 15-minute charts. However, one thing I have done now, due to the amount of drawdown it's incurring the system, I've kind of removed the EA on all 5-minute charts, so it's only running on 15-minute charts, and the EA operates without a stop loss. So as you can imagine, it does get into quite a bit of drawdown. And one of the ways to counteract that drawdown is to do some discretionary trading on higher time frames. So I'll be looking at mainly H4 and the daily time frames for this system. So each trade will have a stop loss and a take profit target. And what I'll be trading is my indicator, the OGT price action indicator, trading only pin bars. So the price action indicator, I'm sure loads of you knows, you can get it free. The link's in the description if you guys want to get the indicator. But it does do pin bars, engulfing bars, dojis, etc. And I'm working on inside bars at the moment. But I'm only interested in trading pin bars, and I'm only interested in trading pin bars that are going with the trend. So effectively, pullbacks in the main trend forms a pin bar, and it looks to continue going in the direction of the trend. So I've been looking at a few rules to kind of to follow. And one of the reasons why I kind of like automated trading is, well, firstly, I don't need to be around for waiting for the setups to occur, but secondly, if all the rules are hit, I'll always find an issue with it in terms of not to take the trade. So something I need to learn around discipline. So hopefully it will make me a better trader. So uh, here is a chart. Well, actually, before I go into the chart, what I want to do is focus your attention onto this trade over here. So on the Euro GBP, which I've highlighted. So this is the trade that I took on the 3rd of January 2018. Again, really small lot size because again, I'm just practicing really more than anything else. And it made £2.33. So when the pin bar formed, just bear with me there. So what I'll do before is this pin bar here is the pin bar that I was looking at. But what I'll do is let me explain this chart to you, because this chart does look a bit complicated, but every single element on the chart is helping me getting to where I need to get to. So if I go to my indicator list, so let's start off with the round numbers indicator. So this is a free indicator I got from the MQL5 website. Again, I'll put the link in the description so you guys can capture that. And what it does, it basically draws levels at the 500 level and at the and then at the 1,000 level. There, and you can see it does that all by itself. I don't really get involved in it. And the main reason for these levels is that these are psychological levels that everyone looks at, and I'm sure you guys have heard the research into it. A lot of people put take profit targets and stop losses at these levels. Now, again, I've just put the indicator on this chart, and I can pick 2-3 examples here. Here's one example where it hits the 500 level, reversed. Another one, 1,000 level, reversed. Another one up here, reversed. Another one here, reversed. So you can see that price does support these levels. and I'll go into the rules of the pin bar, why I think these things are important when it comes to trading pin bars going with the trend. Again, I'm just trying to get as many things in my favor. Not to say it's going to work 100% of the time. Nothing ever works 100% of the time, but I think it's relevant there. The next one is the Ichimoku. So for those who haven't come across the Ichimoku indicator before, it's effectively a trend trading system, and there are many elements to it, but the only elements I've put in is the cloud. So this kind of orange cloud means that we're in a bullish trend. So price is above the cloud, we're bullish. And this, I don't know what kind of color this actually is, but whatever, we'll call it blue for now. And if price is below the cloud, you are effectively in a bearish trend. So I just really use it. There are other elements like the Chiku, the Tenkin, and the Kijinsen. I'm not using any of that stuff for this. I'm just giving me a quick view on where price is. So you can clearly tell with this one, we're in a downtrend below the cloud, we're in an uptrend, blah, 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 blah. So hopefully that makes sense from that perspective, why I have the Ichimoku on. And obviously I've got my OGT price action indicator. So the indicator will show pin bars. Again, they're relevant settings. I want to see every single pin bar effectively, so I've set this quite loosely because I'm not discounting any pin bars, and because I'm trading the H4 in the daily time frame, there aren't that many pin bars, even though it's on like 15-16 charts. Don't get that many signals. And plus most of them, 80-90% of them, I won't take the trade because they are going with the trend. So this is counter trend, this is counter trend, this is counter trend. Even though they all work, they all seem to be pretty good trades. I'm not interested in counter trend trades, pin bar trend trades. I'm only really interested in trading with the trend. So the only one in this setup over here was this one over here, because again it's above the cloud, but I'll go into the rules in a second. And then you've got 3 moving averages, which is slightly different than your standard ones. And all it is the keeps getting on there. I believe it's the 20, 50, and the 200. Yeah, so it's the 20, 50, 200 EMAs, and what this indicator does is basically looks at the slope. So if the slope of the MA is down, it'll be in red. If it's up, it's green, and if it's like not moving, if it's flat, it is blue. Not too sure you can see that blue there inside there, but trust me, it's blue. I'll zoom into this in a second because this is the bit where we're most interested in here. So those are all the indicators that are on here. They each serve their own purpose, which I'll go through in a moment. Just put a buy stop in on my automated EA, which is again running in the background. Good to see that it's working. Hopefully it doesn't close down the trade automatically for no reason. Anyway, digressing. So what I did is I actually put together some rules that I've been following just to keep me honest and to check this out. So the first thing that I do, and what we'll do actually, we'll look at this actual example over here. So it's this pin bar here. Ignore these yellow lines, they'll come relevant inside a second because it's related to levels to do with where I got in and where my stop loss is, etc. Zoom in a bit more so we can see. So there's this pin bar over here, and the first one I'll talk about, so I can remove it from my chart because it's getting in the way, is here, number 4. Price above below the cloud in the direction of the trend. Yeah. So this one, to be honest, didn't hit that criteria because the price is technically in the cloud. So it's in neutral territory, it's not bullish or bearish. However, I was quite happy that it was pretty much above the cloud. So I was comfortable with that, as well as the other factors I'll go on in a second. So what I'm going to do, just to make things easier for everyone to see, is I'm going to get rid of the Ichimoku cloud. Okay, cool. So this is the pin bar here. In terms of the numbers, this just shows how long ago price was at this level, which was 34 bars ago, which I'm guessing is around here somewhere. It's irrelevant from where I'm looking at from my perspective. So that's just that one there. So the first one is the 20, 50, 100 EMA in correct order. And what I mean by correct order is that in terms of relation to where price is, so in this case we're here. So we're looking at this section here when the pin bar formed, that the 20, it goes in the order of, if it's a bullish, it'll be closest to price 20, 50, 200. It's in that order, which it is. So that's step one, happy with that. The 50, 200 EMA ideally should be sloping up or down in terms of where it is. So the 200 is sloping up, which is green. The 50, however, is sloping down, and it's, when the pin bar is formed, it was in red, so sloping down. I wasn't too fussed with this one, if I was really honest with you, because that probably just shows I'm getting in at a better price, because price has retraced further than probably expected. And then obviously when a pin bar forms, the 20 EMA, looking at back testing, is always blue or red because it is going back into the into the opposite way of the trend. So normally what I like to see is red, green, green. But red, red, green, I wasn't too fussed. Again, I'll tell you what I think is the most important piece out of all these elements here. Price above below the cloud, we talked about that. So I'm gonna oh no, sorry, we're on number 3. So the pin bar, the actual pin bar candle has touched the 50 EMA, and the reason why, so price has actually retraced lower than 50 EMA and has hit the 200 EMA, which is even better for me, because I think that the 200 EMA will probably stand a lot more resistance than the 50 would. But it's just something I've thought about in terms of getting in at a better price, that I've got quite a big pullback that I want to get in. I want price to be touching the 50 EMA at a minimum. Talked about the cloud. Now this I think this is the most important one, if I'm really honest, and we'll find out in the future. And again, I'll be recording every single pin bar that I trade. Win lose. Don't think there is a draw. You can't really draw because I'm not breaking even or moving my stop loss. Pin bar has touched or close to a round number. So you can see here that pretty much this pin bar closed on this round number here. And you can see on the next bar that it also respects this level. And that's where I think is quite important. I was really like that placement of that pin bar where the low formed, right on that round number. So that's the bit I liked. And the next bit in terms of profit level targets. So the profit level that I'm going to be using is the fib expansion, the 61.8% level. And ideally, I want my take profit target to be on or before the next round number. So the next round number is here. You can actually, price did get to that round number. But what I wanted to do was, making sure that the profit target was around here or just below it. So I knew, or anyway, around this resistance area over here. Now, before I draw the fib level, this one, it wasn't really that. I'm actually going to add another one here. Actually, number 7, which I did take into account, was market structure. Market structure. And reason why I think that's important is just looking at the trend. What's going on here? Are we making higher highs, lower highs, etc., etc.? And it's not the cleanest because it does look a bit choppy here, looks a bit there. But with everything else, with where it on that round number, with the moving averages in the right direction, and we are making lower highs here, except this one over here where the pin bar formed. But it's not to say that it's not going to go up in terms of at least retest back these highs over here, because again, I'm not looking for a take profit up here, I'm looking for a take profit at the fib level. So what I did, if I insert the Fibonacci expansion, and I used that as the high, that, so here's that. I'm still learning how to draw these things properly, and that is the low. So that's the upburst, that's the pullback, that's the boom, that's there. So it's actually now gone to the 100% level, so it actually retested up these highs here. So let me zoom back in now. So my profit target was the 61.88% level. So within 4 to 6 hours, 4 to 8 hours, I can't remember roughly how long was I in this trade for. I bought it at 12.10, got out there, so what, 5 hours? 4 hours 57 minutes. Yeah, so 5 hours I was in this trade for to get back to this level. So that was there. And again, going back to this point around 0.6, the 61.8 level was at this level here with resistance. So I was quite happy with that to retest these highs, and that the round number level was a lot further away. If the round number level was here, then I probably would miss this trade, because we're going to get resistance at this level, or you may get resistance at this level, and I didn't want to take that chance that it could reverse back and never hit this level. So keep that on there for a second. So those are the kind of 7 things I kind of look at. Again, it's not 100% in terms of yes. Some is left down to subjectivity and things like that, but this is the kind of thing, and I'm going to try to firm these up and really use these going forward. So we'll keep this, and then we'll go through this checklist, or I'll go through it, and after the trade has been concluded, we'll go back and I'll talk you through my logic here. So these now 2 yellow on the what do these lines mean? So this yellow line here is my entry price of 0.88604. So this is where I entered. So in terms of how to enter the pin bar, there are kind of 2 schools of thought on this. The first one is you get in at the break, the pending order at in this case, just a few pips above the high, and if it breaks it within the first or second additional bar, you're in the trade, and boom, there you go. The other option that some people do is that they put a fib on the candle and they wait for a 50% retracement. I could have got in at a very, very good price over here, right down over here. But price was kind of, while I was doing my analysis, going through those 7 steps, price was flirting around, coming back down. As soon as I put the order, price started going down. I was like, oh my God, it's going to hit my stop loss. But fortunately it didn't. And we got to where we need to get to. But they're kind of 2 schools of thought. I guess really once I've done the analysis and things like that, I should really have a good rule on how am I going to do it. But I think for now, if I want to get in the trade, and if it hasn't taken off completely by the time I've done my analysis, I'll just enter the trade. Or if it's retraced back in and I still think it's a good trade, I'll just get in, and therefore I'll get in at a better price. So I'm still working on that one. So that was the level there, and the second one, 0.88403, which is over here, was my stop loss. And now the reason why I put it here was kind of 2 reasons. One, I didn't want to put it exactly on the I didn't want to put it exactly below the low, so I wanted to give this a bit of room just in case. And also I looked at these lows over here. It's kind of formed a resistance level, so I kind of did it underneath this kind of bar over here, which I thought was a good enough gap to give me. And as we saw, that, like I said before, that's the first bar after the pin bar, really respected that level, and again it gave me that room if needed. So take profit 0. So if we look now, my stop loss, I think the spread was about 1.6 pips, is about 20 odd points, and the fib was about 23. So it's £2.33. So pretty much a 1-to-1 trade. So all else being equal, at least my risk to reward was at a 1-to-1 at a minimum. And you could have gone to 100, but those were kind of my logic on terms of trading the pin bars. So either do a pending order a few pips above the high / low, or do, again, spell properly, or 50% retracement of pin bar. Stop below low round numbers for resistance area. So like I mentioned, target is the 61.8 fib level for fib expansion, 61.8 fib level. So that's, you know, the logic that I'm going through to trade these things. And again, I've got on the pin bar, not the pin bar, on the price action indicator, you can set up alerts either through email, smartphone, or on the screen if you're watching the chart. So I'd like to do it on my phone. So I've got the MT4 app on my iPhone, and again, it just came through on my phone. I was doing something else, got the thing, went to the charts, did the analysis, and boom, there we go, set and forget really. So thankfully it's worked out. So I think, I can't remember what episode it is, but I did another pin bar trade which was less scientific than what I've just gone through now, going again with the trend, and it's worked. So two pin bar trades, two pin bar wins. So I'm going to start tracking these pin bar trades on a spreadsheet. So all this analysis, basically this information here, so I can start building up a repertoire so I can see outside of the actual EA there, the scalping EA that's running, how well I'm actually trading on pin bars. And if I'm actually trading pretty well on pin bars, why don't I just do pin bar trading and just do what I've been doing? So I think I might evolve into that eventually, but hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's given you a fruit of thought on how I'm looking to trade pin bars going with the trend. And I said to you before, you know, there may be a good counter trend trade. There I do get all these pin bars. All these pin bars were coming up here, but again, you know, I'm not really interested in it. I might look at it if it's at a round number to do a counter trend and if other stuff starts working out, but ideally I want to just go with the trend, because I think an upburst move, a pullback, and then again back at least testing out the most recent high, you do it at 2% risk, you know, and it's probably between, you know, minimum 1-to-1 ratio risk to reward, depending on how big the pullback is and how big the pin bar is. You know, you can actually make some decent amount of money, I believe. So like I said, I hope you guys found that useful. If there's any questions you guys have around this, or you want more videos around pin bars, just let me know, and more than happy to do that for you. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll speak to you soon.